Two friendlies have just been announced for the under-21s, an award for Tottenham Hotspur this week. Spurs are being linked to Ivan Toney. We could sign him for as low as £40 million, according to various reports. Fabrizio Romano's take on this also. The Spurs home shirt will be released on Tuesday. James Maddison on the Spurs v Arsenal rivalry. Spurs are being linked to a £17.5 million striker from the German league. And Hugo Lloris has come out and said that his last full season at the club, the group dynamic was negative. And then when Ange Postecoglou came in, he had become transparent and he was pushed aside.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And may I take this opportunity to introduce a couple of new channel sponsors. We've got Mine Jerseys. You can order the new Tottenham Hotspur home, away and goalkeeper shirt now. You will also get an extra 10% discount by using the discount code COYS. Also, Alloy Collectors, they have got some fantastic Tottenham Hotspur collectibles. Do check out their website. The link is in the description below, and use CC15 for 15% discount. So let's start with some official news released by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club on Friday evening. We are pleased to confirm two initial away pre-season fixtures for our title-winning under-21s. Our development squad is scheduled to return to Enfield Town for the traditional pre-season friendly between the two sides at Queen Elizabeth II Stadium, just a stone's throw away from our training centre on Saturday, the 13th of July, kick-off time 3 p.m. 2 weeks later, on Saturday, the 27th of July, our under-21s will visit Dagenham and Redbridge, also a 3 p.m. kickoff. Now, the tickets for the Enfield game are available online on the Enfield Town Football Club's ticketing website or at the turnstiles on the day. And the tickets for the Dagenham game, tickets will be available on the Dagenham and Redbridge ticketing website or at the ground on the day. Now, the Spurs women have just been given an award. The club has just been recognised for our work in partnership with New City College at Thursday night's Women's Football Awards. Our Women's Football Development Centre won in the category of Equality, Diversity and Inclusion, highlighting the exceptional work done by our education and football development centres alongside the college. New City College Principal Janet Smith said, "I'm delighted that our partnership has been recognised in this way. The women's programme has enabled our talented young students to experience the highest level of coaching alongside their academic studies with us. Together, we are ensuring that women from all backgrounds can access the training to achieve their potential in football." The Football Insider have just reported that Tottenham Hotspur could sign Brentford star Ivan Toney for a surprise fee of just £40 million this summer. They have stated that Brentford are reluctantly ready to allow the England international to move on once the transfer window opens. Reports previously suggested that the Bees were looking for a fee in the region of £100 million to let Ivan Toney leave the club in the January transfer window. But it has been revealed now by the Football Insider that the fee is now significantly less, and £40 million could be enough to prize the forward away from West London ahead of his contract expiring in June 2025. The report also states signing a striker is believed to be one of Ange Postecoglou's priorities heading into the summer window, and they have revealed that Spurs will consider offers to sell Richarlison. Ivan Toney has been on Tottenham's radar for some time, first revealed in November last year by the Football Insider, and they have also stated that the club were ready to go head-to-head with some of the Premier League rivals to secure his signature. The forward scored 20 goals in the 2022-2023 season before his 8-month ban for breaking the FA's gambling rules saw him miss the first half of the latest campaign. Despite only scoring 4 goals in 17 appearances since his return in January, Ivan Toney's stock remains high after he was included in England's training squad ahead of their upcoming Euro Championships. Now, further to the reports about Spurs being linked to Brentford's Ivan Toney, Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has stated he might be one of the strikers being considered at Tottenham, but no final decision on their top target has been made as yet. Tottenham's priority was to decide what to do with Timo Werner, and now they will have to move on to the next targets. The Football Insider have just reported that Tottenham could look to sign Serhou Guirassy this summer following his strong campaign with Stuttgart. It then states that he would provide value for money due to the £17.5 million release clause in his contract. In the report from the Football Insider, it states that the Guinea international has been on the radar of multiple top clubs in recent months after scoring 30 goals in 30 games over the past season for German club Stuttgart. It has been widely reported that Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and Nike will be releasing the new Tottenham Hotspur home shirt for 2024-2025 season on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, the new home shirt will be available. Spurs midfielder James Maddison has spoken out about the rivalry between Spurs and Arsenal. He said, all of the build-up that you media do, we probably don't realise or take as much notice as you think, or don't fully appreciate the fans' feelings. I am not a Tottenham fan. Deep down in my heart, I don't have the hatred for Arsenal that Tottenham fans have. But on the same page, I completely understand. Maddison then went on to say, I'm a Coventry fan. That's where, watching Coventry in the FA Cup, that's how I feel when I support a team. And that's how I know with the rivals and stuff. Now, according to various reports, former Spurs head coach Jose Mourinho is just about to become the Fenerbahce boss to manage in Turkey. According to Fabrizio Romano, he has just given the here we go Antonio Conte to Napoli, and former Spurs midfielder Stephen Clements has just taken over as the new head coach of Barrow. Former Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper and captain Hugo Lloris has come out and said that he was pushed aside in the final couple of months at the football club. Talking and addressing the manner of his exit, the 37-year-old said he returned from the 2022 World Cup too soon and struggled to recapture his form. He said, I started again too soon, too hard. I was exhausted and only had 4 days to recharge. I was having trouble reconnecting, getting back into my routine, finding motivation. The World Cup came too soon after the Championship break, and the Championship resumed too soon after the World Cup. In January, I knew it was going to be difficult. I was going to have to grit my teeth, but I planned to rely on the collective. But there, my teammates were in the same state of psychological fatigue as me, and it got me. It got to me. I took refuge in work, thinking that things would be better in February, except that when my sensations returned, my body gave up. It was a combination of several factors. The team was lacking results, and the coach, under pressure, was losing patience. Therefore, the group dynamic was negative. Hugo Lloris then goes on to talk about when Ange Postecoglou came in and he said Tottenham would get into the end of a cycle. So was I. I knew that Tottenham wanted to recruit younger players, especially in my position. Summer was approaching and I was no longer part of the plans. When the Championship resumed in August 2023, the coach informed me that I would no longer enter the field, that I would only be a training player. I was pushed aside. I had become transparent. Now, my thoughts and takes on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about an award for the Tottenham Hotspur women this week. Many congratulations to them. They are doing some fantastic work. And I tell you what, I've covered the Spurs women this week and they really are going places and they are trying to catch that top 3. Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal in the Women's Super League. They are the elite clubs at the moment. And I am sure that Robert Villaham, the work that he is doing and all of the work behind the scenes, they are doing some tremendous work and they certainly will be going places in the next couple of years and will be fighting for honours. So many congratulations to the club for winning this award. Of course, the under-21s have just had a couple of pre-season friendlies arranged. I think one of them is when the Spurs first team are in Japan, and the first one, it's an early one. It's the 13th of July, and that is the annual match against Enfield Town. So that one should be a good afternoon. Links to Ivan Toney for £40 million. I'll tell you what, if Spurs could get Ivan Toney for £40 million, that would be a fantastic deal. When you think of the crosses that players like Heung-min Son, Dejan Kulusevski, Pedro Porro, etc., Destiny Udogie, so many players could be putting these crosses in, and Ivan Toney could be on the end of these crosses to put the ball in the net. I think that would be a fantastic move. Will Brentford let Ivan Toney go for £40 million, or would there be a bidding war between lots of other clubs? I think there would be a bidding war. I think a lot of clubs will be interested in Ivan Toney, a lot of Premier League clubs, and there will be a lot of interest abroad as well for a player of that ability. But I do fully expect that Ivan Toney will leave because he's not going to be renewing his contract. Thomas Frank has already come out and said that he will be leaving, and it is now a case of, money, and it's a case of who Ivan Toney will want to join. I think it's certainly in his hands. Spurs are being linked to Serhou Guirassy, who has done extremely well in the German league this season. £17.5 million release clause. As I've always said, and as I will always say about recruitment at Tottenham Hotspur, we have seen in many recent seasons, the recruitment has been pretty poor. And the whole team, the whole structure at the football club has changed, and the recruitment just has to be right. And fair play to the club, because in the 2 transfer windows so far under Ange Postecoglou, the transfer windows have been decent, and they have been the right players. When you look at last summer, bringing in players like Vicario, Van der Ven, James Maddison, a number of really decent players there, and that is exactly what we need to do. Keep updating the starting 11, keep updating the squad. We're going to be playing European football next year, so a lot more of the squad players will get opportunities, so you need those squad players to be decent players as well as your starting 11. And definitely, as fans, we all want to see Spurs go a lot further in the domestic cup competitions than we did this season. The home shirt is being released on Tuesday, apparently, so that will get everyone excited for the new season. That is quite early, I must say, early June. James Maddison on the Spurs v Arsenal rivalry. I think that James Maddison will certainly understand the rivalry when he's been at the club for a couple of seasons. Of course, he's only been here for a season, but I think the more he plays against rivals such as Arsenal and Chelsea, he will fully understand the rivalry, as will all of the new players as well. Hugo Lloris, I think some people took it as a dig at the club about being pushed aside and he become transparent. I think a lot of footballers in a lot of respects get pushed aside because, of course, new players come in. I think there becomes a time when certainly, when players spend a long time at the club, like Hugo Lloris did, and he was an excellent servant. He was one of my favourite players, so I'm never ever going to sit here and diss him. I've seen him make some tremendous saves year in, year out, but there does become a point. Every single player, no matter whether you're a legend or what, at the football club, it gets to a point where, the football club need to offload a player and the player needs to go. And I think that Hugo Lloris was definitely in that situation, as were people like Eric Dyer as well. I think that they got to that point as well, where it was just best for all parties that players leave and you refresh. And as I keep saying, you've always got to refresh. In the Premier League, you cannot ever sit still. Even if you're fighting relegation, you're a mid-table club, or you're going for the Premier League title, every single team has to refresh. Every single team has to try and move forward in some way, because it's such a competitive league, and that's what makes it so wonderful. But the last word on Hugo Lloris, I've got to say, he was an outstanding character. He was an outstanding goalkeeper, an outstanding shot stopper. I wish him all of the very best for the future. Hopefully he is successful in the rest of his career. But You know, Vicario, I think, has had a fantastic season, who, of course, has replaced Hugo Lloris. But, you know, as Ange Postecoglou has said, there's so much growth to come from a lot of these players, including Vicario. You know, Hugo Lloris had 10 years at the football club. Or over 10 years it was, actually. So, yeah, a fantastic career at the club. And many, many fans will call Hugo Lloris a legend. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Do check out all of the sponsors: TalkSport, Mind Jerseys, Echo 61, Zooch Converters and Alloy Collectors. I'll see you on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Come on, you Spurs.